When we think of the founding of the United States, certain names immediately come to mind: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Alexander Hamilton. But behind these towering figures were women of extraordinary strength, intelligence, resilience. Their stories are just as crucial to understanding the American experiment. One of the most remarkable of these women was Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton, Eliza. Her life was a tapestry woven with threads of love, profound loss, unwavering faith, and a dedication to service. Eliza's story is not merely an attachment to her famous husbands. It is the story of a woman who was a force in her own right. She was born into a world of privilege and influence, yet she used her position not for personal gain, but to nurture a family and support a revolution. Her work, quiet but impactful, is one we are only now beginning to fully appreciate. Her journey began in the bustling colonial city of Albany, New York. Elizabeth Schuyler was born in 1757, the second daughter of Philip and Catherine Schuyler. The Schuyler household, known as the Pastures, was a vibrant center of political and social activity. For Eliza, and her sisters Angelica and Peggy, childhood was anything but ordinary. They were immersed in debates that would shape the future. This environment fostered in Eliza a keen intellect and a deep-seated patriotism. She learned household management and duty from her mother, skills that proved essential. She absorbed values of service and resilience, preparing care packages and tending to the needs of the war effort. These formative years were crucial, a crucible forging her strength and deepening her commitment to the American cause. She was already a patriot, contributing in meaningful ways to the fight for independence. The winter of 1780 was a harsh and trying time. The Continental Army was encamped at Morristown, New Jersey. Amid the hardship, in Washington's crowded headquarters, Eliza was reacquainted with a brilliant and ambitious young officer. His name was Alexander Hamilton, the general's most trusted aide-de-camp. Though they may have met briefly before, this encounter would change both their lives. Alexander was known for his intellect, tireless work ethic, devotion to the cause, dashing, charming, intense. He called her his nut-brown maid in letters. He poured his heart out in letters to his beloved Betsy. She was won over by his passion and brilliant mind. He shared her patriotic fervor and a vision for the new nation. With her father's blessing, they became engaged in April 1780. Their love, born in the crucible of war, became a symbol of hope. The marriage of Elizabeth Schuyler and Alexander Hamilton took place on December 14, 1780, at the Schuyler Mansion in Albany. It united the established influence of the Schuylers and the meteoric ambition of Hamilton. Their early married life was shaped by the continuing war. Hamilton sought military glory, often away, leaving Eliza to manage the home. They endured long separations, writing letters filled with affection and news of the war. Eliza provided a crucial emotional anchor. Eliza's contributions were direct, copying, editing, discussing his arguments, a trusted collaborator in the work that became foundational to the Republic. She created a home that was both a political salon and a warm family haven, stabilizing a life of public turmoil. After the war, they moved to New York, where Hamilton built a law practice and rose in national politics. Eliza navigated this world with grace, hosting and supporting while keeping family as her sanctuary. For Eliza Hamilton, her role as a mother was the most sacred and central part of her life. Over their marriage, they had 8 children: Philip, Angelica, Alexander Jr., James, John Church, William Stephen, Eliza, and another Philip. Her letters show a loving, patient mother who created a bustling, affectionate home and oversaw her children's education, religion, literature, music, and French. Alexander, often consumed by work, was a doting father in letters, but Eliza provided daily consistency and moral guidance. Tragedy shadowed the family: financial struggles, political attacks, and in 1801 their eldest son Philip was killed in a duel defending his father's honor. The grief was immense. Eliza inconsolable. Angelica suffered a breakdown, yet Eliza steadied the family. 3 years later, Alexander died in a duel. Suddenly, Eliza was a widow with 7 children, vast debts, and the task of providing for them. Her identity as mother became her purpose. She raised them to be honorable, resilient, and proud of their father's legacy. Throughout her life, through joy and unbearable sorrow, Eliza Hamilton was guided by a deep Christian faith. She was a devout member of the Dutch Reformed Church. Her beliefs were the foundation of her existence, a moral compass and source of comfort. When Alexander was embroiled in public scandal, her faith enabled her to forgive and to keep the family intact. The deaths of Philip and Alexander were tests of faith. In grief, she turned toward God, finding solace in scripture and prayer. Her faith did not remain private. It compelled her to serve widows and orphans, transforming grief into a sacred duty. She saw charity not as pastime, but as a way to live out her Christian beliefs. Her faith powered philanthropic efforts that turned personal tragedy into hope for countless others. It was the engine of her public life: humility, compassion, and an unshakable commitment to doing good. In the years after her husband's death, Eliza channeled sorrow into public good, focusing on orphaned children in New York City. Children without parents face neglect, exploitation, and a grim future. Eliza resolved to create a safe haven. In 1806, she helped found the Orphan Asylum Society of the City of New York, working alongside other benevolent women. She plunged into the work, fundraising, bookkeeping, overseeing care and education, serving as second directress for 27 years and later first directress. Under her leadership, the society provided food, clothing, a safe place, education, and vocational training to help children become self-sufficient. Eliza took a personal interest, visiting, comforting, and treating the orphans with the same affection she showed her family. Her commitment spanned nearly half a century. The institution grew, providing care for hundreds and a lasting model for child welfare. Today, the organization survives as Graham Windham, a testament to her enduring vision. Beyond charity, Eliza undertook another monumental task: preserving her husband's legacy. Alexander left tens of thousands of documents, letters, essays, orders, ledgers, the raw material of his life's work. With painstaking care, Eliza organized and preserved this vast archive, becoming his first historian and archivist. She interviewed soldiers, collected colleagues' stories, and cataloged evidence to tell his story accurately. She enlisted her sons, especially John Church Hamilton, supporting and guiding the massive biographical project for decades. Shortly before her death, the biography was published. Her tireless efforts ensured Alexander's voice would not be silenced. By preserving his papers and championing his story, she did an invaluable service to the nation, protecting a founder's legacy for scholars and citizens. She ensured future Americans could study his ideas and appreciate his impact. The life of Eliza Hamilton is a story of resilience, devotion, and quiet influence. For too long, she was seen as a secondary character, a devoted wife, and grieving widow. But that view misses her full measure. Her two greatest achievements, founding the New York Orphan Asylum Society and preserving Alexander Hamilton's papers, testify to compassion and loyalty. She cared for the living and honored the dead, building institutions and preserving a legacy. Her impact endures in modern child services and archives, reminding us history is made by many contributors, not only generals and presidents. Eliza's life shows how quiet compassion and preservation can be as powerful as the loudest political debate. Her light now shines brightly: service, strength, and enduring love. Her legacy is an example: face hardship with grace, turn sorrow into purpose, and protect memory for those who follow. For further reading, visit the archives and Graham Windham. Thank you for joining this look at the life and times of Eliza Hamilton.